Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. Recently I introduced a lot of you to this product. This is the Indeed Labs Snoxin II Serum, something that on TikTok is often being called BOTOX in a bottle. I then showed you how to incorporate it into a skincare routine, which I'll leave a link to that video up there if you do want to check it out. Even after that video, lots of people have come to me and say, okay Rob, so which do you prefer? This new version of the said BOTOX in a bottle, or the original, the OG, the Ordinary Argireline Solution? Now the Ordinary Argireline has been my go-to favourite anti-aging serum for years, and I still absolutely adore it today. But in this video, I wanted to put these two products side by side so we can work out which is going to give you the very best outcomes when it comes to anti-aging, which one is going to fit your budget and the overall performance that you expect. Sit back, relax, let's compare some BOTOX in a bottle. Now, before we get into this video, I would love to know what your own experience has been with either of these two products. Sound off in the comments section below and let's get that conversation going. These are just my thoughts, feelings and opinions. I really do value yours, so I'll thank you from the bottom of my heart for everyone that leaves a comment on one of the videos. I'd also love to know, we're experimenting a little bit at the moment with a new lighting setup and a new camera, and I would love to know what you guys think. Which do you prefer, the old setup versus the new that you're seeing for the first time today? How is the clarity of the picture and all of that good stuff? I'm always looking at ways to improve the experience that you guys get watching the video, so any feedback you have will be much appreciated. The best way of doing this is, if you're enjoying the new setup, reach down and give this video a big thumbs up and a like to let me know. Now, with all that out of the way, should we just cut that waffle and delve straight on in? Now, before we get into this, just a big old caveat and a disclaimer to say, whilst online these two products are referred to as BOTOX in a bottle, I think we need to set our expectations clearly at the start. It's a catchy title, it's used in marketing, and I think it kind of helps us to understand what the products are going to do. But you should never expect to get the same, results from a topically applied serum than what you will from an injectable BOTOX treatment done by a licensed professional. We need to set our expectations clear. But just because this isn't going to be as powerful as BOTOX doesn't mean that you can't get some really good and game-changing anti-aging results from either of these products. I've used them both for a long period of time, and I kind of want to share with you my thoughts, feelings and experiences. We're going to rate them out of 10 to hopefully help you guys on your own anti-aging journey. So let's start with the OG, the Ordinary Argireline Solution. Now, this just has one peptide, Argireline, in it. The Snoxin by Indeed Labs actually has multiple peptides, one of which is matrixyl. So I feel to be like a fair side-by-side comparison, we're actually going to compare the Ordinary Argireline and the Ordinary matrixyl used together in the same skincare routine. I demonstrated how to do this in a video, which I'm going to leave a link to up there, definitely one to check out. This on its own isn't going to be directly comparable to the Snoxin, which is why I think, to be totally fair, we'll combine the two. I've actually been using Argireline and matrixyl together in my skincare routine probably for like the past 3 years and getting some great results. So together, these command a price point of roughly £20, around $25. So really not that expensive when you consider the results. They're both water-based, so super lightweight on the skin. You can mix them together in the palm of your hand, press them into the skin and get immediate anti-aging benefit. I think this is one of the key differences. The Argireline and the matrixyl work pretty much on application. They have some cumulative benefits in the long term, but you get those immediate anti-aging results, which I love. Studies also show how effective they are. One study showed that by using Argireline on a regular basis, you can actually minimize the depth of the fine lines and wrinkles you have by up to 17%. That's pretty good when you consider the price point that the Ordinary are actually charging for these serums. The matrixyl will boost collagen in the long term, but will plump out the skin in the short term. The Argireline will work on those dynamic fine lines and wrinkles caused by movement to smooth everything out. The price point is amazing. I love the texture, so lightweight, sinks in like that, and I really do love the fact that you get those immediate results. I'm impatient, that's definitely a tick in the box. They're cruelty free, which again is something I always look out for in my skincare routine. And I think the one drawback I would actually call out with these serums is they're a little bit watery, so they can run everywhere, which does make them a little bit tricky to use if you're not like super quick. Worth working around for the price point, like I say, but there's definitely that worth calling out. When I compare and contrast the results that I get from the Snoxin, which I'm going to come on to in a minute, I think they're very comparable, but I'd say you get more short-term immediate results and fewer long-term results when you reach for the Ordinary Argireline and matrixyl put together. So all told, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I think a wonderful set of products at an amazing price point, delivering you immediate anti-aging benefit and a few long-term gains too. However, a little bit watery in terms of its application, and I'm not sure that I get as greater long-term benefits with this combination as maybe I get with the Snoxin II serum. So let's switch it up and talk about the Snoxin II serum in this section of the video. So this product does have that matrixyl in, very similar to the matrixyl that I was talking about in that combination just now. But it has a different mechanism of action versus Argireline. So it actually uses a compound that they've isolated from a sea snail, which is designed to work in a similar way to BOTOX, disrupting some of the neurotransmission in the skin to prevent contractions of that muscle, which cause those deep fine lines and wrinkles. In this sense, I think it's fractionally closer to BOTOX than the Argireline, but again, as I said with that disclaimer from the start, it's not the same as an injectable treatment, so you can't do like a like-for-like comparison. This though has a very different texture. While the Argireline and matrixyl combo is really watery on application, this actually comes out with a gel. That's because there's some dimethicone in here, which actually I think gives some great smoothing benefit to the skin. It is wonderful on application, gives that immediate, almost like a blurring effect, even though there's nothing in here that would necessarily be there or designed to blur the skin. It does, however, take a little bit of time to work, 2 hours to be precise. So you put this on and the ingredient, the mechanism of action, takes 2 hours to get into the skin and start working its magic. There's something quite satisfying about this. You apply it to the skin, you look back 2 hours later and think, oh wow, definitely can see the results, which I always think is quite gratifying. You only actually need one product with this versus the two if you were using the Argireline and matrixyl together. And whilst buying those two serums together is the same price as buying one of this, you actually end up with 60 ml of volume of the original versus this, which is giving you 30 ml. So actually this is roughly twice the cost of using the Argireline and matrixyl together. I think this is one of the key differentials, and if you're on a budget, then definitely I think the Ordinary combo will be much more appealing than the Indeed Labs Snoxin. Though for this, I paid £19.99. I think that was on special offer. I think it's normally like £25. So roughly similar in terms of that price point. This definitely much easier to use. So I said the Ordinary Argireline, a little bit watery on application, makes it quite difficult to target specific areas. Not with this, you can target those areas where you have those dynamic fine lines and wrinkles, you know, the crow's feet, the laughter lines, the 11s, and it makes it much more easier to get that precise application, which I personally really appreciate. I find as well a little does go such a long way. You're getting less wasted product with this because you're able to target, where with the Argireline, I think anyone that's used that product will empathize with me here. Ends up running all the way down your arm, you spill some on the sink, it becomes a very hot mess very quickly. This definitely has an easier application. All told, I'm actually going to award this 10 out of 10. I think whilst it's a slightly higher price point, it just works so much better, particularly in the long term. So whilst you have to have a little bit of patience, 2 hours to be precise, to see those immediate anti-aging benefits, you also get some long-term ones I think are in excess of the Ordinary Argireline and matrixyl used together. That means that slightly higher price point, I think personally, is worth it. I much more enjoy the application. It's easier, particularly if you're in a rush, you can just target the areas you need it rather than it running everywhere. So I feel like I get less wastage with this product. It gives an immediate smoothing out, and it's much more hydrating in terms of its outcomes too. This is great because I find, particularly as we age, that the under eye becomes much more dryness prone than it used to be. So if you feel like you've got crepey, dehydrated under eyes, this could be a really great way of offsetting that. And of course, you can layer it on top of your existing eye cream if you want to double down on that hydration benefit. What I hope to show in this video is whether you reach for the original combination of the Argireline and matrixyl from the Ordinary, or try something new with the Indeed Labs Snoxin II serum. Honestly, you can't go wrong. Whilst the Snoxin II did just pip this combo to the post, honestly, both of these would rank as almost like joint favourites in what I class as the best anti-aging serums around. It's all going to come down to your individual price point. If you're on a strict budget and want to get double the amount of product for the same price, then absolutely continue to use this powerful combination. If you don't mind paying just a fraction more for a better application experience, and what I think is some beneficial long-term results, then the Snoxin II serum would be the one that you would reach for. All comes down to personal preference, accessibility, and we really need to weigh this up when we come to purchase products for our own skincare routine. Hopefully in this video, I've been able to explain the differences between the two, so if you guys were a little bit confused before, hopefully this has helped. Check out that video I linked earlier on how to layer both of these products into a skincare routine, and that will be like the final chapter in getting the best benefit out of whichever Botox in a bottle treatment you reach for. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.